Welcome back to the channel for another video. Today I'm going to be redoing a video I did a couple of weeks before the start of the championship season. Today I'm going to be bringing you my Wrexham starting 11 for our upcoming game this weekend at home to QPR. With the signings on deadline day, of course, we've seen 3 new players join the club, and with the good performances of players across the board at the start of the season, there's going to be some selections and some positions in this pitch that I've changed from my previous video. So before we get going into today's video, if you're looking for the best Wrexham content, it's coming your way on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers, and let's go for 500 likes on today's video. And without further ado, let's get looking first on who I've got in goal. I've got Arthur Okonkwo. Now, given obviously the long-term injury to Danny Ward that he did sustain, his elbow injury of course a couple of weeks ago against Millwall, it's Arthur's time to regain that number 1 spot for what he'll hope will be for the rest of the championship season. A lot of fans are watching this, and a lot of fans in my comment section have been saying they didn't really understand why Arthur was dropped in the first place, of course, at the start of the season. And to be honest, I can agree to an extent with that. We've obviously seen Danny Ward's performances so far. I would have understood if Danny Ward had conceded 15, 16, 17 goals, but I do think across the board his performances have been good in a Wrexham shirt. Of course, he's made that one mistake here and there, but I think overall he's been very solid. 16 saves, the joint most in the championship. He's put in some very good performances for us, and I don't think it was sort of necessary for fans to just jump on his back straight away. Of course, away at Southampton, we saw he was in the lineup. A lot of fans were disappointed, and a lot of fans still don't seem to be happy with the fact that he has been playing for us. So I don't really understand on that front, but we're looking at Arthur Okonkwo, and I do think obviously there was a reason why Danny Ward came in ahead of Arthur, whether it was obviously because Parky was expecting a very tough start to the season. He wanted that experienced goalkeeper in goal and to sort of protect Arthur Okonkwo, because if we'd have had a couple of really bad first games and Arthur was in goal, he's 21, 22, it could have had a damaging effect to maybe his confidence and just his overall performances. So I think this is definitely his time to shine. We've seen him in the Carabao Cup at home to Hull, we've seen him away at Preston, and I think we've seen the same version of Arthur Okonkwo that we have seen over the past couple of seasons in a Wrexham shirt. He made that brilliant point-blank save, of course, when he came on away at Millwall, and I think that is just a sign to Phil Parkinson that he is ready to come back into the lineup and be our number 1 goalkeeper, because his opportunity is now for him to gain that championship experience. He's still relatively young. He's played in League 2 for Wrexham. I think he's played in League 2 for Crewe. He's been abroad, of course, in Austria at Sturm Graz. This is his opportunity now to play in a league that he's never played in before, and at his stage of his career and at his age, I think this experience is going to be really vital for him, and this is his chance to prove why he is one of the best up-and-coming goalkeepers in the EFL. Right wing back, I've got Ryan Longman. Now, I've been thoroughly impressed by Longman and obviously Ryan Barnett to the start of the championship season. I think the performances across the board on those two in the championship and in the Carabao Cup have been really, really good, and I think Longman especially has taken his opportunity really, really well. Not been afraid to take on his man down that right hand side, do a couple of step overs, putting that good quality cross into the box. He's created plenty of chances, and if we're looking at his statistics so far, 5 chances created, 9 successful crosses, and an 80% success dribble rate. So I think he's had a really good start to the season, really taken that opportunity by the scruff of the neck, and sort of again proving a point to Phil Parkinson why he should be our right wing back for the remainder of the season. I think as well, if we're further looking in that position, despite the 2 really good starts to the season for those two, we've added Issa Kabore into the mix. So with Barnett knocking on the door, Kabore just coming in, the competition in that role is very, very strong, and don't get me wrong, it is a great problem to have. Centre back Max Cleworth. Now, a lot of people are saying on social media that they think he's going to be dropped for new signing Dom Hyam, but if that's going to be the case, and if that's going to happen, it's not going to happen anytime soon, because he's had a very solid start to the season. I think he's really adapted to that step up from League 1 to the Championship really well, and I think as he gets more minutes in the tank against some really good calibre opposition, of course he's played against Southampton, he's played against West Brom, he's played against a really good quality opposition in the early stages of the Championship season, and he's looked like the Max Cleworth we've seen in a Wrexham shirt for the past couple of seasons. So I don't think he'll have any doubt in, adapting to this league even further as time goes on in the season, and I think he's only just going to get better for us in a Wrexham shirt. We should value Max as one of our key assets, so dropping him 5 games into the Championship season, yes, you could say Dom Hyam is coming in, of course, not missing a game last season for Blackburn Rovers, but if we're being realistic and if we're being sensible and fair towards Max Cleworth, I don't think he's done anything to be dropped within the first 5 games of the season, and if he is to get dropped, just 5 games into the Championship campaign, it's just going to halt any further development that he's had. And I just can't see Max losing his place this early on in the season, because he's had a very good season. He was an integral part of our backline in League 1, and I think he's he's taken that step up to the Championship really well. Our next centre-back, Connor Cody. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how long Cody does keep his place in the start 11 for, because, like I said, we've seen the signing of Dom Hyam. I think the competition between those two is going to be really strong, and I think they'll both be pushing each other to their limits. But I think in terms of Connor Cody going into QPR, he's going to keep his place. I can't see Dom Hyam coming in, obviously, straight after the international break to take his spot. And performance-wise, I think Cody's had a very good start to the season. You can really see his leadership qualities and his experience that he's got at this level and above, and I think he's just been a great player to have in the middle of the back three, and I think he will continue to be good for, obviously, Callum Doyle, who's coming in 21 years old into that left centre-back role. So I think overall it's a good signing on and off the pitch. He's a renowned leader, of course, at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's been at Leicester City, Everton, etc. So he's got that experience, and I think always adding experience to the group that Wrexham have in this youngish group that we do have was always going to be a bonus, and I think his performances so far to date have been very good. Moving on to the next centre-back, I've got Callum Doyle. Now, as expected, he is slotted straight into that left centre-back role without a problem at all. We've seen him play in the Championship before, 100 plus appearances for the likes of Coventry City. He's got promoted with Leicester City before. He was at Norwich last season, so he wasn't going to have any issue at all coming into this Wrexham team and coming into that back line and having a couple of iffy performances. I've been really impressed, and I think as the season goes on, we're going to appreciate the signing of Callum Doyle even more. If we're looking at him as a defender, he's just so composed at the back. He's a solid centre-half, and I think his passing as well could be something that Wrexham used to our advantage over the course of the season. His progressive passes into the midfield and over the top is something we've seen so many times already, especially away at Preston North End. We saw it a couple of times at Millwall, but I think with the right players we can really maximise Callum Doyle's attributes, of course, with his passing range long and short over the course of the season, and I think he's going to play an integral role for Wrexham over the course of the Championship campaign. And if we're looking at a signing, I don't think it gets much better than this. Of course, bringing him in from Manchester City for £5 million, we've got him for the next couple of years. He's 21 years old, he's proven at this level. This is a brilliant bit of business, and I think he's going to play a big role on Saturday against QPR. Left wing back Libby Kakachi, now another signing that's hit the ground running since day one. Filling the boots of McLean and having McLean as competition knocking on your door every single day in training is no easy task, and I think Libby Kakachi has just completely taken that left wing back spot into his own in the games that he has played so far. I think the balance that he has got as a player and as a wing back going forward and defensively is very notable. I think he's a very tough tackler and a very tough player to beat down that left hand side, but going forward I definitely can see as time goes on his confidence, going forward down that left hand side, putting those crosses into the box, cutting inside, is just going to get better and better, and his confidence is just going to be sky high as he gains more minutes in the tank in a Wrexham shirt. So I think he's going to be a key player for us, and it's obviously going to be his first home game at the Racecourse Ground, so let's hope he can make it a memorable one. Moving on to central midfield, I've gone for Ben Sheaf. Now, this could be sort of a controversial one and sort of one that you might not agree with at home, but I think Ben Sheaf has got the quality. We don't have to speak about this. He has got the quality in the Championship before, and he's got the quality to jump into this Wrexham midfield, obviously just a week after signing for the football club, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I do think he's going to come straight into the lineup. We've seen he's fully fit. He's in training with Wrexham, of course, over the international break with the players that haven't gone on international duty. If I was Phil Parkinson, I would go for this straight away by bringing Ben Sheaf into the midfield, because he's not got any point to prove. He's Championship quality. He's had many good seasons at this level before. He's signing for a team that, you could sort of say have lower ambitions than Coventry City. Of course, everyone has ambitions, but in terms of Wrexham just being promoted, Sheaf will be looking at this thinking, I need to be jumping straight into that midfield, and I need to be a starter in this team week in, week out, because Coventry are going to be up there and thereabouts, possibly getting promoted to the Prem. So he'll be looking at this thinking, I've joined a team that are slightly low down in the table and have slightly sort of less ambitions of going straight back up to the Premier League, so I need to be playing for this team week in, week out and proving my worth to Phil Parkinson. Sheaf is going to come into the lineup and play the role that Matty James does play in that midfield. It's going to be a fresh addition to the team. It's going to be a fresh approach and a fresh sort of style of play that Ben Sheaf will bring to this side. He's obviously fresh off the back as well from a 31 Championship game season for Coventry City. He's going to come in, he'll sit in front of the back three really well, adding good cover and depth, of course, in that midfield role, and if we keep him fully fit, Ben Sheaf is going to be a really good signing for us. Next midfielder, George Dobson. Now, I did not expect to be saying this a couple of weeks ago when the Championship season did start, but I've been so surprised by George Dobson's performances so far in a Wrexham shirt. and that's for a good reason. I think he's had a really good start to the season, and if I was Phil Parkinson, I think a lot of fans will be looking at this thinking he has no reason to be dropped from this lineup. His performances have been really good. If we're looking at sort of him in the style of play and the role that he does play in that midfield, he's looked so much more composed, he's looked better on the ball. Of course, he's sort of dropped that erratic side to his game, which I think has definitely benefited him. He doesn't really jump into those tackles anymore. I think the first game of the season and the first home game he was slightly erratic, but ever since then he's been composed, his passing range has been good, he's just blocked everything in that midfield really well and has just dictated the play, which again is something I didn't expect to see at the start of the Championship season, but something again that's only just going to cause a bigger and better problem in this Wrexham team in terms of competition and players coming in to take his spot, because as it stands, Dobson is not letting anyone come into the lineup. He's playing like it's his last game every single week, putting 110% in, and if we can get, a good 70 minutes out of Dobson and possibly having, some good players on the bench to come in and play the last 20, I think the depth and the quality in that position is really going to show as time goes on this season. He's looked better on the ball, like I said, and he's adapted from the step up from League One to the Championship really well, and I'm excited to see his performances as the season goes on, because again, it's something I wasn't really expecting. Next midfielder, Lewis O'Brien. Now, he's the type of profile of midfield that I think Wrexham needed going into this Championship season, and he has more than lived up to the expectation, especially for me. I was excited when he first signed, but I didn't realise the impact he was going to have on the midfield quite so much as he has done. He runs the midfield really well and has just, like I said, had a really big impact from day one in a Wrexham shirt. And it looks like Phil Parkinson has possibly said to Lewis O'Brien, look, you've been playing in sort of this deeper role for Swansea City and Middlesbrough in the past. You can have that freedom to go forward, and I think we've really seen a side to Lewis O'Brien that could be very good for us going forward this season and could play a big role for us going forward, because he's got 2 goals to his name already in a Wrexham shirt, and that's his best goal scoring season for the past 4 years, and he's only played 6 Championship games so far. So I've been really impressed with O'Brien's performances. I think as time goes on, we're just going to see his quality even more, and I think he's going to play a big role for us as time goes on in this Championship season, because the aim for Wrexham this year was bringing those players that have that Championship experience, and I think Lewis O'Brien's CV just fits that profile really well, and I think his performances so far have been really good. Moving on to the striker role, Kiefer Moore. Now, his confidence going into this game against QPR is going to be sky high. He's coming off the back of a really successful international camp away with Wales, of course, scoring the winner away in Kazakhstan, which again was a really good moment for Wrexham fans. I spoke about it on the channel in the last video. And you're looking at his stats in a Wrexham shirt as well. I think he's got 4 goals to his name this season in the Championship for us, and his style of play, coming into this Wrexham team in the summer transfer window is something that we kind of wanted to add so much to this team. And it's a style of play that has added so much to not only the front line, but he's maximising the attributes from the defenders with their passing range. The wing backs getting crosses into the box and getting assists to their name. I think he's just been a really good signing. And not only does he get the best out of him, but he gets the best out of other players and sees the best version out of him and other players in this Wrexham team. So overall, I think there's a lot of different reasons why this signing is going to be seen as a success if he can continue scoring goals. And if we're looking at Kiefer Moore as well, each game that he is playing, he just looks better and better. And the signing fee of £2 million is just looking even better as the games go on. And let's hope he puts his injury issues behind him, because they're heart attacks every single week when he does go down injured. But the way things are going, if he can keep fully fit, he's going to be a key player for us and score double digits, no doubt in my mind at all. And the second striker, I've gone for Ryan Hardy. Now, I'd like to see Phil Parkinson give Ryan Hardy just one more game up front with Kiefer Moore, just to see how they do play together, because I don't think it was kind of the best personal performance for Ryan Hardy away at Millwall. He obviously came off on that 70-minute mark and didn't really make an impact on the game, but if we can get them playing together and if we can give them one more game just to see if things click, then I think we've got a striker in Ryan Hardy that could possibly be our striker for the rest of the Championship season. I do think there's a good player in Ryan Hardy, and I do think there's a striker there that can score goals in the Championship. We've seen it at Plymouth Argyle, and there's a striker there that I think can be our striker week in, week out for us as time goes on in this season. And like I said, I think he's still, working alongside Kiefer Moore, knowing how each other play and knowing how to play off Kiefer Moore's game. So it's going to take time. We're going to have to give them maybe a couple more games to see how things go. But I think we've seen his goal away at Preston. But if he can get that 1 goal against QPR on Saturday, I think that could be the start of possibly some good goal scoring games for Hardy. And I think his confidence is going to be through the roof, because there's a good striker there, but we just need to maximise his attributes and get the best out of him, because like I said, he's a good striker and we just need to see it now for the £700,000 that we did pay for him. So that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, make sure to get in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with some of my selections? I'd love to know which ones you disagree with. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in another video. Take care guys, up the town.